what's up everybody, it's Ryan Bodecki here, and it's Friday, July 20th, and let's talk a little bit of PlayStation. So before we get into today's news story, I just wanted to touch a little bit on PlayStation All-Stars Battle Royale. As you may or may not know, 2 more characters have been announced. Now, previously last week, I touched on the fact that Toro and Heihachi Mishima was added to PlayStation All-Stars Battle Royale. But new week, new Comic-Con panel, we got 2 new characters. And now confirmed for PlayStation All-Stars Battle Royale is Cole from Infamous and Jak and Daxter from Jak and Daxter. Now, both of these characters aren't really that big of a surprise because, as you can remember from a few weeks ago, Eric Ladd, the voice actor for Cole in Infamous 2, posted a tweet saying that he was pumped to be back in the mocap suit doing Cole. But he said that it wasn't for an Infamous game in a follow-up tweet, which led people to think, okay, maybe he's doing PlayStation All-Stars Battle Royale. And it turns out that seems to be true. And with Jak and Daxter, it was kind of a given since one of the levels in PlayStation All-Stars Battle Royale features a level from Jak and Daxter, Sandover Village. But nonetheless, even though they were obvious choices, they're still great choices, and it's great to see a trailer of them really showing their stuff. For those of you that don't know, Jak and Daxter is actually my most favorite PlayStation franchise ever. It's my favorite. It beats Drake, it beats Kratos, it beats Little Big Planet, it beats Resistance, beats everything. I love Jak and Daxter. So, like, seeing Jak, like, with all of his regular weapons and being Dark Jak in his super and stuff and doing the dark bomb attack, I guess that it looked like it was probably a level 1 super. Dude, it looks so cool. I'm so pumped. And now to touch on the main news story, big news story. It's basically going to take up the rest of this, and there isn't really too much going on. There's a lot of Comic-Con panels and stuff like that. Go look up all the interviews and stuff. There's a lot of great content on the internet right now that I obviously can't discuss. But what I can discuss, and I want to analyze with you guys, is the new PlayStation 3 model that has been surfacing around the internet. Now, for those of you that don't know, Technoblog, credits to them, has gotten a hold of a couple of pictures of what appears to be the prototype or new PlayStation 3 that's coming out that Sony's supposedly going to be announcing at Gamescom. Here's a more enlarged picture. And if we take a look at this system, I want to break down a few key things for you. And for those of you that don't know, this is kind of a rare instance for Sony. This isn't really in their nature. They only slim home consoles once, as history has shown. They only slimmed the PS1 once. They only slimmed the PS2 once, and the PS3 once. Now they're doing it again. Now, yes, they've slimmed the PSP multiple times, like 4 or 5 times, I don't even know, you can't even remember at this point. But this is the first time that they're slimming down a home console more than once. So this is a new change in the company history. Now, I'm going to tell you right off the bat what I think they're going to be doing here. They're probably real. And why do I say they're probably real? Don't say, oh, Ryan's gullible, he believes anything. Anyone who follows Sony will start to pick up on a few factors of the company and just what they do and how they operate. And one being, pretty much all people should know this for Sony. If something leaks and is rumored about them, 90% of it's probably true. It's just, Sony can't keep a secret. And they've demonstrated this time and time again throughout the entire history of the company in terms of PlayStation products. They can't keep a secret. They just can't. And that's why I'm giving the seal of approval that these pictures are probably real. Now, with all that said and done, let's take a look at the picture up close and personal. There's the model numbers up at the top. Clearly that's a new model number. That's nothing that we've seen before, so obviously that indicates that that's something new. The form factor is very similar, obviously. The PlayStation 3 has always taken on sort of a incredibly oval shape for the sides of the system, and then that falls out to fill the whole system as a whole, and this seems to follow the same form factor. It does look considerably more thinner than the PlayStation 3 Slim, the current PlayStation 3 Slim that we have right now. As you can see in the mid-right, we have this regular PS3 logo that's currently on the Slim in the same place with the same font and everything. The Slim obviously brought that whole new rebranding where they ditched the Spider-Man font and everything. Now, as you can see from a top-side view, the bottom of the system is glossy, and then the back also has a little bit of gloss. But the main top view of the system has dashed lines parallel to each other, kind of like the same design in the PlayStation 2. But as you can clearly see, there's a vertical line going down all those dashes, so kind of separating it into 2 pieces from the bottom and the top. And I don't know about you, but it looks like there's a little bit of height difference between that, like one is layered, like they're layered a little bit. So this is just my guess, and judging from the picture we're going to look at in a second, that is actually a disc tray. So my assumption here would be that this PlayStation 3 is ditching the slot loading drive. You wouldn't put a disc in and the PlayStation 3 would feed it in. Instead, the top of the system would slide to the left, as it would, if you do it manually or if you do it on the XMB, however it's going to be with this system, then that would reveal where the disc tray would be, and then you'd set your discs into the system like that and then slide it back over. Now, if we look at the second picture, we get more evidence of that disc tray. As you can see, there's 3 angles of the PS3 we're looking at here, the new PS3, and the mid angle that we're looking at, where that's a frontal view of the system. Very similar form factor. It's got that, top layer, and then it kind of tapers off a little bit, and there's a lower square below it supporting the base of the system, or the entire system itself. Doesn't look like there's a place to put that disc. Looks like this is definitely a disc tray on the top of the system. It doesn't look like there's really any room to slide it in there. And as we can see from the front view, 2 USB ports. Doesn't look like we're getting anything extra. No card readers like the fat PS3. Looks like most the standard stuff from the slim PS3 is present. Can't see any place to change the hard disk drive. Doesn't look like there's any place to do that. Just from the pictures, we really can't tell. I'm pretty sure there's going to be a way to do it. Sony probably would not take that away. That'd be a big uproar. But from the pictures, I can't really see a place where that would be. I'm guessing it's just in the same spot, and we just really can't see that indentation from the slim PS3 on this new PS3. That's my basic small analysis of this new PlayStation 3 model. Like I said, guys, I think it's legit. And that's just going off my knowledge of Sony as a company and how they operate. The company just can't keep leaks. So I really do think that these things are the real deal. And what do you think of the design? Obviously, people are probably going to say, oh, it looks ugly or something like that. And, the thing about that is, every time you see it in person, you always like it a lot more than you liked it on your computer screen when you were reading a blog or something. So, I don't know. I think it actually might look pretty cool. I always liked the slot loading drive on the PS3. I don't know, I really like that. So, disc tray, we're kind of going classic, you know what I'm saying? But, hey, classic always is cool. Now, for the fun part, here's my prediction. And yes, I'm making a prediction, so hold it up to me if it's true or not. I believe this PlayStation 3 will be announced at Gamescom. It will be this PlayStation 3, and it will be priced at $200. A price cut. Now, they're actually pretty overdue for a price cut. The PS3 cut $50 like a year ago, year and a half ago. They're due for a price cut, especially if they want to stay competitive with, home consoles. The Wii is very affordable now. The Xbox 360 is really, really affordable. And PS3 is getting outsold by Xbox 360 in America, a lot. It's always getting outsold. Xbox 360 has been the top-selling home console in America for over a year now, I think. So with this new model and new price, I think this really could give Xbox 360 some competition in America. So that's my analysis. I do think all that stuff's going to happen, so hold me up to it and let's see if it actually comes true. But what do you guys think about it, and what are your predictions? I'm sure you guys got your own thoughts brewing in your head, and I want to hear about it. That concludes episode 5 of Let's Talk PlayStation. Thanks for talking with me, and see you next Friday.